You hear that? Some might say that sounds like hell on earth, but to me, it sounds like the birth of new life. Forest fires carry a narrative as one of the most devastating and destructive abiotic disturbances in the world. Although this is true, forest fires also paved the way for the recolonization of fresh new land in a process called secondary succession. Secondary succession is the concept in which an ecosystem recovers from a disturbance with its soil still intact and its remnants of previous life still remaining. After a forest fire has passed, it leaves nothing but a husk of what the forest once was, causing the destruction of a rich food source and homes of all the animals that have once lived there. Now, although this is very sad, forest fires create space for new life to take over and feed new generations all at the same time. The ash of burnt organic material increases available nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, which will be readily available for new plants. And on top of that, ash is also a great natural fertilizer which enriches the soil and promotes plant growth. Initially, this new space and nutrients that forest fires create allow for smaller shade-intolerant plants such as fireweeds that enjoy lots of sunlight to thrive, as there's almost no competition remaining with no larger plants to create any canopies that create shade, thus paving the way for new pioneer tree species. The increase in available nutrients, rich soil, and new space is widely beneficial for pioneer tree species that are also shade intolerant, such as birch, that are known for their rapid generation time and ability to thrive in disturbed environments. Furthermore, pioneer species such as the jack pine have evolved to take advantage of the situation in a very creative manner. Jack pines have cones that are sealed in resin and require the heat of a fire to release its seeds, to which the seeds are introduced to a world with minimal competition and loads of nutrients to thrive in. The new introduction of pioneer species quickly sets up a competitive hierarchy. As the trees grow, they create canopies, creating lots of shade, ultimately suppressing the development of other smaller plants and seedlings, destroying the competition around them. Since these early arriving pioneer species get a head start on growth, later arriving, slow-growing trees must be able to tolerate shade if they want to survive. And as trees with shorter generation times die off, it's finally time for larger shade-tolerant trees to take the stage. Dominant trees with longer generation times, such as firs and cedar, slowly begin to replace the pioneers' trees as they die off, ultimately reaching its climax community. Now, since firs and cedars are shade-tolerant trees, they end up replacing themselves when they die, essentially taking over the forest until another forest fire comes along, continuing the never-ending cycle of life, death, and competition between life itself. Finally, to fully grasp the relationship between abiotic disturbances and the biotic communities affected by it, look no further than the Mi'kmaqi guiding principle of etuapmum, or two-eyed seeing. The principle of two-eyed seeing allows us to see the world from two different perspectives, one of indigenous knowledge, the other of Western knowledge, and to use both together for everyone's benefit. One eye, I see death, destruction of a rich and diverse land home to millions. Through the other, I see the circle of life continuing with the gift of new life being formed on the same land that was seemingly destroyed. Before I finish the presentation, I'd like to acknowledge that Dalhousie is on the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaqi people. I would also like to thank Allison and Lada for organizing the lab and lectures. And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank AI for creating the images used in this presentation.